Here are the real answers behind Google's top "Why does Ecuador" questions. First, why does Ecuador use USD? Well, because in 1999, Ecuador suffered one of the worst financial crises in Latin America. Banks were handing out risky loans, corruption was rampant, oil prices collapsed, and El Nino brought catastrophic flooding that wiped out agriculture. So the banking system collapsed. The government froze people's savings, the sucre, the currency at the time, spiraled into hyperinflation, and Ecuadorians watched their money lose almost all its value. By early 2000, trust in the sucre was dead, so the country switched to the dollar to stabilize the economy. 2. Why does Ecuador hate Mexico? Well, it doesn't, at least not the vast majority of Ecuadorians. This idea comes from the 2024 diplomatic kerfuffle when Ecuadorian police stormed Mexico's embassy to arrest a fugitive ex-vice president. Some Ecuadorians are upset at Mexico's leadership for what they see as interference in Ecuador's justice system by granting asylum to a politician convicted of corruption. But Ecuadorians don't hate Mexicans. The tension is political, not cultural. 3. Why does Ecuador speak Spanish? Well, 3 centuries of Spanish rule is why we speak Spanish today. But while Spanish dominates, indigenous languages are still alive. About 2% of Ecuadorians speak one, with Quechua being the most common. And Ecuadorian Spanish actually borrows a lot of Quechua words, so the influence never really went away. 4. Why does Ecuador hate Peru? Well, it really doesn't. At least, like for Mexico, it's not cultural, but mostly historical. Ecuador and Peru fought multiple border wars over the Amazon territory. In 1941, Ecuador lost a huge area it had long claimed. So for decades, there was resentment that persisted, but since the 1998 peace treaty, relations have normalized. It helps that the part of the Amazon that Ecuador retained has most of the oil. 5. Why does Ecuador exist? Well, because Gran Colombia, the super-state created by Bolivar in the 1800s, fell apart in 1830. Regional disagreements, political chaos, and local power struggles split this super-state into Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. Quito became the capital of a new republic named after the equator that runs through it. Keen from the future here. This video is getting too long, so I'm going to have to break it down into 2 parts. Follow for part 2.